Let's be honest, hiring can feel like a total gamble, right? Well, today we're going to talk about how to take the guesswork out of it. We're going to explore how you can shift from just, hoping for the best to using a data-driven science that makes sure your next hire isn't just a good fit, but the perfect fit.
You know the feeling. You have this amazing conversation with a candidate. They've got all the right answers, the resume looks great, and you just get that good feeling in your gut. But how often does that gut instinct really lead to a superstar employee? And how often does it lead to a major headache down the road? Relying on intuition alone is, without a doubt, one of the riskiest bets you can make in business.
And wow, the stakes are huge. A bad hire can end up costing a company up to 30% of that employee's first-year salary. I mean, think about that. You've got to factor in all the recruitment costs, the training time you invested, and all that lost productivity. That is a massive financial hit. It just screams for a better way to do things. So, how do we avoid it?
Well, that's exactly why traditional hiring so often feels like you're playing a high-stakes game. You're basically trying to predict someone's long-term success based on a very short, and let's be real, often biased snapshot of who they are.
But what if we could completely change the rules of that game? And that brings us to the data-driven solution. So instead of just crossing our fingers and guessing, we can use real, objective data to move from just hoping for the best to hiring with genuine confidence. And the absolute key to this whole thing is the pre-employment assessment. Now, what is that? It's simply a standardized, scientific way to measure what actually matters for a role. It could be a hard skill, like coding, a cognitive ability, like problem solving, or even a personality trait like conscientiousness. It's about getting real data.
Okay, so look at this. The difference is just night and day. On one side, you have traditional hiring, which is subjective, it's inconsistent, it's full of bias. And on the other, you've got smart hiring. It's objective, it's backed by data, and it's predictive. The whole goal here is to get from that left column over to the right.
So, you're on board, right? You're ready to make the switch. But which test should you actually use? The best way to think about this is like a toolkit. You wouldn't use a hammer to saw a piece of wood, would you? Of course not. You need the right tool for the specific job you are trying to fill.
Let's break down the main tools you'll find in that kit. First up, you've got cognitive ability tests. These are great for measuring critical thinking. Then job knowledge tests, which, well, they verify a candidate's expertise. You've also got skills assessments, which check practical tasks. For example, you might ask a content creator for a writing sample. And finally, personality tests, which can be really helpful for gauging cultural fit. The big takeaway here is you've got to match the test to what the job actually requires.
Okay, so you've got the tools. Awesome. But just having a fancy hammer doesn't make you a master carpenter, right? Knowing when and how to use these assessments is what really makes all the difference. So, let's talk about building a process that's both fair and super effective.
This is super important. The magic happens when you place these assessments early in the game, like right after the initial application screen. Why? Because it lets you filter a huge pool of applicants down to a manageable shortlist based on real objective data. Just think of the countless interview hours you'll save. And you're ensuring that you only spend time with the most qualified people from the get-go.
All right, the results are in. Now what? How do you actually use this data without falling back into old habits? First, a great tip is to benchmark the scores against your current top performers. What do their results look like? Second, and this is crucial, remember that the test is just one data point, not the only data point. It's part of a bigger picture. And finally, you have to apply the exact same criteria to every single candidate. No exceptions. That's how you keep it fair.
So, after all this, implementing the right tools, using the right strategy, what's the payoff? What do you actually get out of it? Well, it's about so much more than just one good hire. It's really about building a stronger, more productive, and more successful team over the long haul.
And look, the numbers don't lie. This isn't just a theory. Companies that use pre-employment assessments consistently see way higher retention rates. Why? Because they're hiring people who are a genuinely better fit from day one. And on top of that, they see a significant boost in overall performance. This isn't just about better hiring, it's just plain better business.
When you boil it all down, it really is this simple. It comes down to this powerful little equation. If you want to make smarter hires, you absolutely have to start with smarter assessments. It is the most direct path you can take from uncertainty to real, lasting confidence.
So, I'll just leave you with this one thought. What if, by making that switch from relying on a gut feeling to trusting the data, what if your very next hire could be your best hire yet? Think about it.